Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the David Hunter Scott channel. This is episode 6 of the Programming with David series. Welcome. Now today we're actually going to learn about fonts. I want to show you how you can actually change the font of the text on your page so it looks a little more prettier than the default font that your browser automatically sets for you. Now usually your browser will set it to Times New Roman, and I think it's a font size of 12 points, but we're going to change that now so we can have different sizes on our page. Let's take a look at it. So let's open up where we left off yesterday. And this is the page that we left off in. We've got this lovely David Hunter Scott logo here. So we're going to actually add in something else now. So let's get rid of this text that's up here. We don't need it. And on the next line, we're actually going to put the font tag. The font tag is the word font. And we're going to close it, and then we're going to go a couple of lines down and we're going to do the closing font tag. You don't need to actually style your code like this. This is just my personal preference to make it easier for you to read. You can obviously put it on one line if you want to. The actual placement of the code doesn't actually matter as long as you have everything between the brackets that need to be between the brackets. So everything inside this open font tag and this closing font tag will actually have the font applied to it. So in here we're going to put a paragraph tag, and we're going to say something like, this is the Arial font. And we're going to close the paragraph tag. Now remember yesterday when we were doing images, we talked about attributes, where we had the name of the attribute, then the equal sign, and then the value of the attribute inside double quotes. Well, that's how we're going to actually define the font here. We're going to do a space, and we're going to say face equals, and in double brackets we're going to put the font name. Now please understand folks that the font that you choose has to be stored on your computer, and if this is a font that's going on the internet, it also has to be a font that is stored on other people's computers as well. So it's best to choose a common font, and later on we're actually going to look into how we can use a web font, which you actually saw examples of on the assets repository. Those actually get downloaded onto the viewer's computer, and they get to view it temporarily on your page. So we're just going to use a very basic font that should be included in pretty much everyone's computer, and that's the Arial font. So let's type in Arial. And now we can save. And now let's open up our browser and refresh. And you might be able to tell that this font has actually changed and now looks in Arial. It is hard to see, folks, unless you've got a really good eye, so what I'm going to do for you now is I'm actually going to show you exactly what it looks like without this font applied. So we're actually going to put another paragraph tag below the closing font tag. That means that this font won't get applied to it. So we're not actually saying what font we want for this paragraph. We're going to say this is the default font. Save. Let's open up our browser and refresh. Now you can really see a difference between the two fonts. This one is Arial, and this one is, I believe, Times New Roman. You can see that the height of the font is actually different as well. We've not actually told it to change the height of the font. That's just the way it looks, because each font is technically a different size. But we can actually define a size, but even if we do that, each font is actually a different height anyway, so you may not get exactly the same size for all fonts. So how we define the size is we go back up to here, and we do a space and do size equals, and then inside double quotes It's been a while since I've actually done the size this way, so I believe we just do 10 in here and save. Refresh, and now it's huge. I should have done what I originally thought and made it 2, for example, because I think there's a scale that it goes up. That's very small, so you can play with these values. Say it's just trial and error. Play about with them and see what actually works for you. There we go. That's a nice size. But you can see it has not affected this font. It's still the same size. That is because inside the source code, we only put this paragraph here inside this open font and this close font. There is nothing surrounding this paragraph, so it's not applied to any font whatsoever. But it's what we can do is we can put a separate font tag down here. So let's do another space. Spacing does not matter, by the way, folks, so I can do that if I want to and it won't make any difference. This is just literally so you can see the code better. So let's do another font tag and do font face equals Verdana. Size equals 3. And I'll just tab that in to make it look more readable. And we're going to close the font tag like so. So now we've got this inside here, so it'll get applied to here, and we're going to change this to Verdana. And just for comparison, I'm going to put another paragraph down here and say this is the default font. Save. Let's go back to our browser and refresh. Now we've got 3 different looks for font here, for text. We've got this one which is, I'm actually not sure what size it is because it's linking up in the scale. This is not the way you actually want to define sizes, but this is how we're going to start off because this is the most basic of the lot. Later on we're actually going to learn about how to do it using CSS, which is so much nicer and so much more flexible. But for now we're just going to leave it with HTML. So we've got 3 different sizes here and 3 different fonts. And that's how you do fonts with HTML. So I hope you create something really pretty, and if you want to actually show it to me so I can see what you've created, my email address will be in the description for this video, but I'll tell you it anyway. It is contact@davidhunter.scot. So send it to me as an attachment and I'll take a look at it and get back to you with my comments. But if you're struggling with this code, again, leave a message down in the description and I'll do my best to get back to you. But that's it for fonts today, folks, and I will see you tomorrow in episode number 7.